Welcome to the dynamic learning hub of XLR at Andheri East. A prime spot conveniently located at just a 5-minute walk from LIC Andheri Metro. In our journey of over a decade, we have proudly trained over 2 lakh students. We have also been recognized by Deloitte, Silicon India, and other accreditation bodies. Experience learning like never before in our spacious and comfortable classrooms. With high-definition projectors and state-of-the-art acoustics in place, we ensure effective learning even to the farthest point in the room. The hybrid mode is a game changer as you can enjoy the benefits of a live classroom from the comfort of your home. Even if you happen to miss any classroom session, you can still attend the same session with the same trainer at the same time at your convenience, maintaining consistency in your learning progress. Want to get started? Join us for a demo or career chat over a cup of coffee at our Andheri branch. XLR. We don't just train, we build careers.
Yes, so the collaboration with XLR was an excellent one. We conducted a Power BI workshop with Advanced Excel over a span of 3 days. The workshop was almost 12 hours long in total. Mr. Karthik, who was an amazing trainer, helped the students understand the concepts deeply. I am sure that the students will be able to apply these concepts in their careers as well as their daily lives.
The trainer, Mr. Karthik, was an excellent person where he explained in very detailed manner on how to give great insights using very complex data sets.
So it was a machine learning workshop. We learned a lot from the course and it was a great experience attending the workshop.
The trainer was very helpful. He had a hands-on approach with his teaching and it was fabulous.
This was a great experience for me. So I would absolutely love it if XLR and its team would come again to our campus and conduct more events like this.
It was a great course and it started from basics and took me to a great extent.
The experience of the workshop was really nice. The feedback from all the students was positive. They understood the concept. The workshop was also practical based with some questions. The experience with XLR was very smooth. They helped us in conducting the workshop smoothly right from the booking of the vendor and deciding the course till the distribution of certificates. In overall, this workshop was a success during our Technical Fest Atmos, and I thank XLR for being a part of it.
I was very much interested in learning digital marketing course for a very long period of time, but I don't get a proper platform. So later for my college, I get to know about XLR and I enrolled in XLR course. It was really good experience. Our course has been taken by Mayur sir, and he was very good teacher. He not only focusing on theory part, he is doing how real digital marketing works, and it was in total very good experience. I get so much of knowledge.
Good afternoon, all. I hope you are doing well. Okay, Ashok sir, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, you can start the session, sir.
Okay, ma'am, couple of minutes. I'll just share my.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. A very good afternoon to everyone. I hope you are able to hear me loud and clear.
Yes, sir, you are clear.
Fine, ma'am.
It's
Let me
audible.
share
Yeah, sure.
my screen. Okay, I hope you are able to see my screen.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Fine, ma'am. Good to go. So, very good afternoon to everyone. So, welcome everyone for the day 4 out of 5 of the cybersecurity FDP program. So, we have covered quite a good number of topics, starting from networks, Windows, Linux, basics of cybersecurity foundations, We have covered different types of security devices. It can be a hardware or software or cloud-based firewall, SIM and on. If I'm not wrong, yesterday we discussed something about clearly understanding about what's the threat, what is the vulnerability, what is the risk, what is the attack surface, different types of threats. Threat can be a individual, so-called hacker. Threat can be a virus or a malware. We have seen some different types of that, right? And we have just seen the whole of the security means it's all about authentication. One such is password. The whole of thing is backend by cryptography, right? Locking and unlocking patterns. We saw steganography, hiding and unhiding. Till the 24th topic we stopped yesterday. So today we are going to see something technical, right? Some bits and pieces that is of interest for a recruiter. Fine. If we go for a recruitment for a job role, the common role, security engineer, right? We expect the students to know this, whatever we are going to cover today, the topics, right? So if the students claims that, sir, I know this tool, I know this technique. Again, when we talk about tools and techniques, I just got to know, like, so whenever a college or an institution calls me for a faculty development or a student training program, they'll say, sir, give me something like 100% practical. But without knowing what is the basic, maybe if they have done all the things what we have seen on the last 3 days, we can give them 100% practical, right? Just like the tools which you are going to see today, right? But without that, right, we cannot just open a tool, next, finish, everyone can do. Interview experience will be different. Interviewer, the recruiter, the company wants to know the concept foundation. You know, right, today nothing is memorizing and writing up. Everything is migrating to the shift of AI, right? So anyone can just get the content, right? So older days, we remember we just give some good marks for assignment. Nowadays, we are using plagiarism tools to check whether the assignment is genuine or not, right? So the concepts which you are going to see, we already got introduced to this WAF top 10. We will see some bits and pieces of WAF top 10. And important among this is cross-site scripting, SQL injection or SQL injection, cross-site request forgery, broken authentication. We'll see some common attacks, right? Digital signatures, digital certificates, DNS, VPN, proxy, cyber kill chain. We call it as an attack. Let's give some steps, 7-step attack. Step 1 to step 7. The attack is going to happen in 7 steps. The attacker has to successfully complete all the 7 steps. If you are a security professional, successfully you need to defend in any one of the steps or all the steps, right? So then when you just make a report, in industry we call it as a pen testing report or a security audit report or a VAPT report. The report will say, hey, welcome, see, we give audit reports for colleges and university. Sir, your college has this many number of computers, this many IPs, this many systems, this many email IDs, everything. There are like 1,000 vulnerabilities available. Out of that, maybe like 20-25 vulnerabilities are critical. Today you need to patch that or else someone might steal the data. Then there are some high vulnerabilities, maybe like 100 high vulnerabilities, some 500 medium vulnerabilities, 200 low vulnerabilities, another 100 information level vulnerabilities. Likewise, we'll categorize. We need to give a score, right? So maybe like technical people, your IT support team might understand what the vulnerability we are talking about. But the management people, you talk about a principal or a chairman, they want to know what is the problem, how to fix it. So we need to give them the number. Sir, this is like the vulnerability. The weakness is 99 out of 100. Or else this is only 10 out of 100, right? Something like that we need to give. So we have something called a CVE, CVSS. It's a scoring system. We'll see what is CVE and CVSS. This is a scoring system between 0.0 to 10.0. The score is not 0 to 100 scale. It's between 0 to 10. The 0 to 100 percentage is split between 0 to 10. And at the end of the day today, we'll see some top cybersecurity tools or information security tools. Anyone who comes out and claims that, hey, give me a job in cybersecurity, the industry will expect these things, at least knowing what is the tool, how it works, right? So that is going to be the agenda for today. We'll quickly walk on through the topics. Okay. OWASP, OWASP, as we have already seen, OWASP top 10. OWASP is a security group, organization who is listing the vulnerabilities. You can contribute, I can contribute, anyone can contribute for that, right? So they will regularly find the vulnerabilities, the attacks happening globally, the vulnerabilities that are available, day in and day out, the new vulnerability release, they'll rank it. They have a formula for that, they have a ranking mechanism, they have an experts team who's auditing that. So they will rank and say, hey, what is the vulnerability? Vulnerability out of 0 to 10, fine. Just a minute. Let me open. For your understanding, I open a website called application.security. This was free earlier. Now they have made it as a paid version, right? But this is a good website, right? If at all you get a chance, like from your college or university to teach cybersecurity, and you want to students maybe in the 7th semester or 8th semester or final semester, just by knowing this paper, they want to get a job or they want to clear the interview. This website might be a good one. You see here, clickjacking, command injection, different vulnerabilities are listed here. For example, let me take one. It might not allow more than 2 to 3 steps, but even though we'll just open that. Directory traversal attack. See, looks like a website, Deal Hub. There's a website available. It's an online marketing place. Fine. Go next. Fine. So someone have just gone. They are just going to add something to the cart and they are going to purchase something, right? Fine. So someone wants to going to buy, is clicking. Fine. Okay. So it will ask for the paid version. So this website, right? If you get the paid version of this, right? So it will clearly walk you through this. I'm going to explain the top 10, right? Top 10 vulnerabilities. I may take you through 4 or 5 vulnerabilities, right? The most common, right? So this will take a step by step. Step by step, left side, it will say what it is. Right side, you can just see the demo. Previously, as I said, it was free. Now they have made it as a paid version. You see here, WAF top 10 web vulnerabilities. WAF top 10 vulnerabilities for API. Fine. So different types, but you see whatever you see here on this screen are different vulnerabilities. Clickjacking, command injection, cross-site request forgery, directory traversal. I clicked and opened this directory traversal, right? Directory traversal is nothing but, see, you have access to your folder in the exam office drive, right? So you can copy your question papers. You can view your other department people question paper. You go out of your folder. You go out of your department folder. You go to the other department. You go to their folder and you open or copy or edit their file. That is called directory traversal. Imagine from your room you come out of your building. You go to the other building or you go to the other college. You go to their building and see what is there in their system or their room, right? Same way, directory traversal. You move out of your directory and you go to the others directory which you don't have a permission. AAA principle comes in. Authorization, authentication, accounting comes in. You are not allowed to do so if you are an abusive or offensive user, the so-called hacker. If you find something that is open, you go and check. See, most of the times when we audit colleges, right? So their website will have this vulnerability in common, directory traversal. There will be a common directory put for parents to download some circulars, right? They can open and see the circulars, right? But there may be an option for them to go back and check or view or copy or paste anything from the faculty folder that is available in the same cloud. Maybe the website might be hosted on a cloud. They might have a file server there, FTP server there. So they will be able to visit that. So 2021, the top 10 categories, vulnerabilities are these 10. And as we have already seen in the earlier classes, this is the comparison 2017 and 2021. These are the top 10 vulnerabilities, right? For example, you'll say like maybe the day before the exam, we'll say, hey, study these 10 questions. For sure, majority of that thing will come. You'll be able to crack or clear the exam, right? Same way, if someone wants to do a security audit, without these vulnerabilities, they cannot make a security report because majority, 99.99% of the devices, it can be a hardware, it can be a software, it can be a network, it can be an application, right? They might have these vulnerabilities. That's how the vulnerabilities are ranked. Fine. Okay. So security team uses SWAP's top 10 base checklist. Fine. Okay. We'll check on to the top 2 or the common 2. Cross-site scripting, right? Cross-site scripting, that is called XSS, right? It's an attack where the attacker injects a malicious script into a legitimate website. Let's take an example of your college website. In your college website, you're having an option. Let's assume this is an admission time. You're having an option for a parent or a student to give an inquiry. They can give their name, they can give their mobile number, they can give what department they want, they can give a comment at the bottom and submit it, right? That's a column, an input column where someone can input, right? So you see that we will just revise the line again, right? An attacker injects a malicious script, a code, it can be a malware, a piece of code, into a legitimate website. Your college website is a legitimate website run by your college, authorized, right? But attacker visiting your website finds your college website, what is the application it's developed, what is the backend it's using, what's the DB it's using, and they have found that in the top 10, this website is vulnerable to something called an attack called cross-site scripting. Fine. So if let's say the website is vulnerable, the attacker is putting the virus, what will happen after that? The user's browser executes a script because it believes it came from the trusted source. So the user will go, the attacker will go, next time another user is coming, they are going to give an input in the website, their name, mobile number, comments, which department they want and submit. But the person, those who are, whomever they are going to coming after that attack happen, the website will give them some script, a malicious script that may do something. For example, you are visiting from your laptop. It may steal your browser passwords. You might have stored some passwords in your browser, right? Or else it may inject something into your local system. From local system, it will take something about some malicious purpose. Some attack might happen, right? So that is the purpose of XSS, right? Cross-site scripting. Okay. Yeah, you see this diagram for cross-site scripting. Fine. So there is a client 1 and client 2. Fine. Two clients are there, right? They are going to send a request. That's a server. Server, you assume that your college website is hosted on the server, and the server is having a backend. Like most common a SQL database or MongoDB or any traditional or DB-less databases, right? So that may be in the backend, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm just want to insert a name and a comment, right? So for example, let me open a demo website. Fine. Let's check this. Yeah, there are some websites that are hosted online that are vulnerable. Intentionally, the websites have been kept vulnerable just to check whether they are vulnerable. They can just check whether this cross-site scripting works or not. Okay, let's check. Advanced, proceed, insecure. Okay. Okay, let me open it in the command prompt. WASP has a application online called WASP Juice Jack, right? With which you can just try this online. Let's see here, the website looks like this. We need to download this and keep it fine. Just a minute. For your understanding, I'm taking a college website. I'm randomly typing. And again, you're not allowed to do any of these attacks or something in any of the external websites without their permission, right? So that's really an offense, right? So for your understanding, I'm not going to open any website, live websites. Let's assume like, okay, this, you are going to search something, fine. We're going to search something, see something has been searched earlier, right? So instead of searching or instead of typing something, if I give script, right? I'm opening a script, fine. And having a comment saying that you have been hacked and the script is closed / script. A traditional syntax for cross-site scripting, right? Just a moment. Because in Google Page itself, they have just marked this as malicious. So it might not work on future. Yeah, it's here. This should do good. Fine. Fine. So there is a website you see here, insecurewebsite.com, right? In the comment column, what you can comment, you say like, someone have raised their hand. If you have any questions, queries, you can put in the chat box. Let me check. Not any questions in the chat box. Okay. Fine. So you see here. So that's a website. Let's assume it's insecurewebsite.com or your collegewebsite.com. In that, you need to give a comment. After giving your name, mobile number, you say, hey, I want this department, something like that, right? So if it's a real one, it will just go to the website team or the college team. They'll call back to you for some comments. The attacker's intention is not getting a college seat or something. He wants to find some vulnerability in this website and inject something, inject a code into that. See what the attacker is doing. You see here, http insecurewebsite.com comment. In the comment message, what he's doing, a similar one, whichever I've just shown. Image message is equal to OpenScript source HTML eviluser.net / badscript.js JavaScript and script is closed. Assume that that's a college website. It have to just give saying that, hey, welcome, your comments are taken, our team will call you. That is a normal. The attacker will inject a script saying that it will redirect you to another page. Maybe they might have created a fake page, phishing page, right? Good, looking like exactly like the college page. That page will say, hey, welcome. The basic details which you have given. Welcome, Mr. So-and-so, right? We are happy to just give you a seat for this. Just to pay this 10,000 advance so that your seat is booked, right? So if something like that is given, yeah. So it will be redirected to the evil user page. For example, instead of your actual page saying that your college.com, it will show you some XYZ. For example, let me open. So instead of taking you to a college page, right? Madurai college.edu.in. I'm giving some example, right? So if, let's assume this is your college, right? So the attacker might have a website, right? org.in. Fine. Looks like the same thing. Maybe O is replaced by a 0. It might redirect to the same page because you and me, those who have learning this, might know like, hey, the URL is something different, right? But for a layman parent who wants to get a seat in the college, it is their intention to just get the seat confirmed, right? So this URL, it will be redirected to the URL. URL will just give some account details. It will just start getting the money. Let's assume this is happening. Your college website is vulnerable. Now it is a peak admission days. Maybe in another 1 week, the admission is going to get closed. It's vulnerable. Now one is looking at, after a week, some parents might come saying that, hey, I have given you the token advance of 10,000 rupees. I'm waiting for the seat confirmation. Maybe not one, maybe 100 and thousands of people might have given it online, right? So that is the thing. So this thing is one of the most common attack called as XSS, cross-site scripting. It's a web security vulnerability in the code, right? That will allow an attacker, so-called hacker, to compromise the interaction between the user, the end user who's visiting the website, right? And the website which is vulnerable, fine? Then the attacker will circumvent the same origin policy, right? Which is designed to segregate different websites for each others, right? So this allows an attacker to masquerade a victim user, fine? So whatever actions he wants, he can do. He can copy something from the victim system. He can redirect the victim to some other website. At the end of the day, intention of attacker will be to do some attack. You see here, it can be a password, it can be a sensitive information, it can be getting your secret info, or else it can be a wire transfer, asking or making you to pay some money. See, there is again cross-site scripting are of multiple types: stored cross-site scripting, reflected cross-site scripting. Fine. When you check it, I hope this is logged in. I have my company account on this SportsVigor website. Let's check on to the lab. I'm opening that lab. I hope some labs in this website, SportsVigor, are free. I've already logged into my account, right? Cool. Yeah, it's asking for the subscription. Yes. Yeah. Fine, leave that. See, if we have the access to the lab, what we will do, you'll just log in. There will be a column for entering the command. In that, you will give script. The message is alert 1 and the script is closed. If this is fine, right? What will happen? When you visit, you inject the command, you come out, you are the attacker. Fine. When someone else visits, the next legitimate user, they try to type something and submit. The script which is the previous attacker I have just put on the website will be reflected to the next legitimate user or a victim user, right? The most common excesses is you have been hacked. So most of the people, those who learn excesses, right, they keep something like this. You see here, when you visit a website, you will get some pop-up like this. Visit a website, submit something. When you put the submit button, you need to get the content or you need to get the output. Fine. Yeah, you see here, a pop-up will come. A website pop-up will come saying that you have been hacked. This is an excesses attack. That's a proof of concept. Instead of that, the attacker will say, hey, welcome, your seat is confirmed. Click on OK to pay the money, right? Something like that, it will work, right? But in layman terms, keep in mind, this is one of the most common attack, right? Cross-site scripting, fine. Attacker is injecting a malicious code. The attacker is injecting a malicious script into the legitimate website. The website is a vulnerable website. The website is sanitized. When the attacker injects a script, it might not work. It will say page not found, or it will just refresh the page, right? And the second common attack, the most common attack, SQL injection or SQL injection, right? In which, see, whenever we talk about a network, there's a client and the server. Client are your 1,000 students. Server is your college website. Server will have a backend, maybe a backend database. If it is a SQL or SQL based database, what the user can do, see, I am a guest user. I am getting admission in the college. You have given me a sample username and password. From my guest user, I am trying to check what are all the other guest users who are available in that website. Or else from my guest user, I am able to find what are the details of the principal, what are the details of the HOD, what are the details of the admission team. Let us assume you have a registry, big registry, where whomever is coming, they signs and puts and goes off. Anyone comes, they open the previous pages and check something. If they are not allowed to do so, right? If they check something like that, imagine you have your whole college database. I don't know where exactly is your exam office, where exam server, and where exactly is the details, or I don't know where exactly is the accounts department, where exactly is the salary. But I want to know what is the salary that is put for your principal. What is the salary that is put for the HOD, right? Something like that. If that website is vulnerable to SQL injection, attacker, he can be a guest user, he can be an insider. Insider means one faculty might try to know the other faculty's thing, right? Or else it can be a vulnerability. The attacker have really hacked onto the website and they have got control over that, right? So you're going to give an enter. There's an input column. Same way, hey, welcome, give your username and password. There's an input column, right? The attacker here, the attacker executes some malicious script on the comment column, right? Just to reflect it for the next user, fine. In SQL injection, the attacker is not attacking another user. The attacker is attacking the company's or college website database, backend database, right? So attacker will give an input, another mode of injection, SQL injection code. If the application does not properly validate or sanitize, for example, there's an input column called name. What you can give in the name? A to Z, sometimes a space, capital, small, fine. Why I am allowed to give open braces in the name column? Why I am allowed to give a slash in the name column, right? If something like that is there, right? So that website may be vulnerable to SQL injection attack. Let's check. Okay. See, this is an example of this, right? An attacker, right? Those who have taught or teaching databases, right? Any different types of databases. For sure, you'll teach SQL, right? So SQL is all about rows and columns. Imagine like a bigger Excel sheet, right? So there are rows, there are columns. In the rows, we call it as a field value pair. There's a field called student. The name is the value. There's a field called subject. There will be a mark, right? Field value pairs will be there. The attacker is sending some command. You see here. If you want, I'll type it in the notepad. The same one. Okay, let's take it like this. Yeah. Let me. So it's not starting with union. There is something like an apostrophe union select username. The attacker might have already known there's a tuple. Tuple means the field called username, password from in DB in the database. There is a table called users and hyphen. Thereafter, comment it everything. So I'm a user. Let's say like Ashok at 123 is my Ashok at 2015. User number 1234 is my temporary ID, right? So with this ID, I give my password and I need to check what is my status in the college admission. Right? So, but instead of giving username this one, if I'm able to type this, it's a valid, it's again yet another legitimate statement, right? To the computer language, it's a legitimate SQL statement. The input column username is not sanitized, it's not verified. This will go to the server, it will go to the database and it will execute. When it executes, what it's going to display? You see here, another syntax, select name description from the product where category gifts, union select usernames, passwords from users. Simple. Let's say go to a website called xyz.com. The website is vulnerable. Let's say it's like online Amazon or Flipkart or something. Fine. So you have a username and password. You're logged in. In an input column, you are giving this. So it will list all the users. What all the username? What all the passwords? Whom are having under the category called gift. Right? It's a union select. You know, right? Those who work on to this databases, you come to know about this, right? Select star dot star hyphen, right? And there is something called as a common SQL injection syntax. Even if we don't teach students advanced SQL injection or advanced stuff, right? At least we need to teach them this something called as I'm typing 1:1. Let's check on to the AA mode, what output it gives to us. Syntax SQL injection. Okay, I'm copying this R1:1. Let me paste it here. Okay. So if I'm an interviewer, I'll just give it to the student. Hey, just let me know what is this. It's an attack. It's a cyber attack, right? Just let me know what is this. The student should be able to say, sir, it's something like an SQL injection attack. Fine. Well and good. What is SQL injection attack? The definition which we have seen till now. Fine. So explain me. This is typically a syntax. It's a syntax of an attack, right? Syntax of a traditional SQL injection attack, right? So just explain me. Fine. So there will be username, password column, right? So let us check on to this. That's the first column. You see this apostrophe. So that is going to end the first one, right? Whatever you are giving at the first, end that. Fine. We know the difference between R. R means either it should be left hand side or right hand side. If it is and, left hand side also should be true, right hand side also should be true. So I'm least bothered about the left hand side. I'm closing the syntax of the previous command and giving a or statement. Hey, Ignore the left hand side, whatever username is given, leave that. I want you to execute this statement, R, and you see this boolean, 1 is equal to 1, it's always true. Instead of 1 is equal to 1, I can give 7 is equal to 7. Instead of that, I can give Ashok is equal to Ashok, anything, right? So the traditional thing we give it as, for example, we give it as 1 is equal to 1, fine. It's at all times it's a true statement. Then after leave a space, hyphen hyphen. You know, in DBs, hyphen hyphen is like whatever comes after hyphen, right? You need to comment it. You put it as a hash, or you need to, right? We comment it on the databases, right? So if this application or server is vulnerable to SQL injection attack, someone is trying this in their column. If this is run, right, it will pop up, right? Let me check like output of this. Yeah. Let us check onto some images. SQL injection attacks. Yeah, in the you just Portswigger account, which I have opened it, right? They have quite a good number of demos. You can check. There is another application called DVWA, Damn Vulnerable Web Application, right? So there also you'll be able to find this. It's here in the Portswigger's website itself. They have given it here. They have the demo video. You see here, if anyone teaching database, update, insert, order by, where, the syntaxes which we give in a traditional SQL statement, right? This is a website. The website shows, hey, you logged into the website, your product in which you have a gift, right? Fine. In that, if you are able to inject this, select start from product where category is equal to gift and list is equal to 1. If that website is vulnerable, this will run in the background and it will just give you the output of all the users. The website might have 1,000 users. It's going to list the username, password, whatever you list, right? Whatever tuples, whatever rows and columns you list it, that will be listed there. You see here this syntax, the similar syntax which we have given, fine. The SQL injection syntax. Select start from products where category is equal to gifts. You see this statement, you notice this alone, fine. So this was the thing which you executed. By default, this will be there. By default, this will be there. The attacker is clearly crafting and injecting this statement, the same thing which we have tried here, right? This is a simple example for a cyber attack, database attack, SQL injection. If someone is not able to say what is SQL injection, on seeing this, if someone is not able to explain what is this, right? A company might not be interested in giving them a cyber job. It can be a fresher job or an intermediate or anything, right? Okay, so they're given on the Portswigger examples. Fine. So we have seen something called cross-site scripting, XSS. There is another attack called cross-site request forgery. You see here, the attacker crafts a malicious request. Request means attacker is sending a request, right? To transfer fund or change the email and tricks the logged in user into unknowingly submit it, right? Often via link or image. Let us say you're getting an email from your college. It's not your college IT team, a fake email saying that, hey, I am from your IT team. Something is going wrong. We want everyone to reset the password. The attacker is crafting a malicious request. The request is asking you to transfer money in some case. Now I'm saying that the request is asking to change the email or change the password. If it looks like a legitimate, right, you click on to that, it will take a good looking college website with all the username and password looking like the same. And then you give the username and old password, new password, everything will be stored and sent to the attacker. Fine, you see here, a vulnerable website.com, email, change it to email pond@eviluser.net. You are a faculty, let's say you are the HOD of the department. You have your login to change the password, or this is the admission, maybe the appraisal time. You are going to write an appraisal for a faculty to the principal. Someone have just sent you a link. You clicked on to that link. Thereafter, your HOD login access have been transferred to someone else. Maybe it may be a student or a faculty or a hacker who knows your website is vulnerable. They may just know your username. You know, right? You remember we discussed yesterday, right? Control F. HOD. Remember we discussed yesterday HOD CSE 2019 at abccollege.edu.in, something like that, right? So right nowadays, I remember even I was there at the university, right? So most of the colleges, university website, they'll have a faculty profile. In that, their usernames and passwords will be publicly there. Sorry, usernames will be publicly there, the mail IDs, right? So some college I remember where they strictly follow cyber rules, what they will do, right? So the same mail ID, they won't type it as such. They don't want any attacker to just copy like a bot. Instead of this at symbol, they will put something like this. At, fine. ABC College, here they will put dot. Fine. Yeah. So it's one form of sanitizing, just not allowing an attacker to copy. Let's say you go to a website, there are 1,100 faculties. An attacker with a small script can copy all the 100 faculties mail IDs from the website. And this is one example, but nowadays there are some advanced attack. But for simple caution, at can be replaced with this, dot can be replaced with this, so that some basic level security you have. Fine. So that is called as CSRF, cross-site request forgery. And there is another attack called broken authentication, right? I'll just show you one example. Admin images. Let me check. Yeah, this image, the first image. I just want to show you the same image. It's a meme, right? Meme for some cars, it's a meme. Just a minute, let me close other pages. Okay, you see here, a door is having a lock. How the lock is put, easy to break, right? So that's how username with admin and password with admin will look like. But nowadays we claim that we have a strong password, admin at 123, even weakest password than admin. Fine. Again, you say like college HOD at date of birth, something like that. Just not by adding an at or a dollar symbol, we become secure. This was the scenario. Adding an at, adding a dollar, you became secure in 2010. Fine. So adding multiple special characters, you become secure in 2020. Now we are somewhere in 2025. We are marching towards 2030, right? So no more adding an at or dollar is going to keep you. It's secure, right? Instead of having your name or your 10-digit mobile number, adding an at and dollar is secure, right? But keep in mind, we won't be able to create normal passwords like this, right? So we need to migrate something from a mechanism called password to passphrase, right? Okay, fine. Let me close this. So we have seen CSRF, cross-site request forgery. Then broken authentication, that's what you're talking on this concept. Weak logging sessions, handler allows attackers to hijack account. Right? Someone can hijack a flight, right? Flight hijacking, right? They have done some thing to hijack the flight. So how to hijack an account? I remember way back 15 years ago, right? So we had something called a platform called Arkut. I hope most of you, those who are elderly teachers, you might have had an account in this, the predecessor of Facebook, right? So the early days of this, right? There will be a website in this, right? And there will be a username called something like a ID, something like a random number or ID. This will be the unique ID for your user. For me, something else will be there, right? For example, this is, let me copy. This is your ID, fine, your URL, fine. Let me remove this, it is www, fine. So let us say like, this is my ID. Instead of yours, let me type another random ID. This is my ID, fine. So what the attacker will do, attacker will know the user's ID. They will copy that, the hash or a key or a, we call it as a cookie, cache or cookie, copy that, come to you attacker system, paste the victim's thing, just put an enter. So they will get the login of the other user, right? Nowadays, none of the websites are vulnerable to these attacks. These are all traditional attacks, right? But still, some websites will have something called this weak login session handling, right? Session, right? You remember in ISO SLIS, we were talking about session. I gave an example of a movie ticket. Movie ticket will have which theater, which movie, which session, how many are allowed, right? The ticket is not valid thereafter, right? I remember I have seen like even see Diwali is fast approaching. Anyone have got a movie ticket for the brand new movie, a celebrity movie coming? What they will do? They will take the movie ticket and keep it in their status. If you have really noticed, right, when they are keeping in the status, there will be some unique ID. A QR code will be there, a unique ID will be there. They will put a smiley over there. Because anyone taking a screenshot of that status can go to the movie and just use the ticket, right? Because nowadays we are using all the e-ticket based things, right? So that is on this broken authentication. We'll see an example of that. You see here, the attacker is just sending a request to a vulnerable website for a username to reset the password, right? So it goes to the server, right? Hello Carlos, to reset your password, click on the following link. It need to reset to, so this is Carlos, the guy who's at the bottom, legitimate user. He believes that he's resetting the password of his in original his website, but it is redirected to a evil website. Password reset token is here. The attacker just copies the token of the user. So with the token, like a movie ticket, he can do anything. He can reset the password, he can delete the account, he can change the account, anything they can do. Just like stealing a movie ticket, that's called a broken authentication, is called hijacking, right? Session hijacking, fine. And they come in conjugation, right? So session hijacking is a unique attack, broken authentication is unique attack, right? Oh, fine. Again, it's showed on the port speaker website. Okay, now we'll get on to a concept called, I've explained to you 4 common vulnerabilities: cross-site scripting, SQL injection, cross-site request forgery, broken authentication. Out of the 10, if you are seeing all the 10, it will eat up the whole of the 2 hours. We have some other topics to see. And as I said, you can find them in the WAS top 10 website. Fine. So we'll see digital signatures and digital certificates, right? And keep in mind when we teach, right, there's a main difference between these two. Digital signature, okay, digital certificate, fine. So let's take an example of our college itself, right? In the college, you issue a certificate, right? So let us take an example of a BTech Anna Uni degree certificate, fine. Okay, I'm randomly, something is available on the internet. Okay, there's a certificate available given by this university to whom what it was given. This is a certificate. Everyone knows certificate will have what is the certificate, to whom it was issued, and some credibility from to validity, who issued it and everything. So on seeing this, certificate issued by Anna University, certificate is issued to the candidate, degree of Bachelor's of Engineering, Civil Engineering, first class, April 2018. At the bottom, we find who issued the certificate. So this is a traditional certificate, college certificate. Same way, when we talk about a digital certificate will have what is a digital certificate, who issued the certificate, to whom the certificate was issued, how it was issued, how in the sense some credibility. You know, right? We saw yesterday, some cryptographic algorithms will be there, some hashes will be there for the verification purpose, right? So that is called as a digital certificate. Just like you normally see a degree certificate, right? We'll see how a digital certificate works, right? Same way, there is something called signature, digital signature. You don't confuse this digital signature with scanned copy signed, right? This is what we do every day, right? When some college or someone asks you when you are not available, you sign it and send it to them. Take a photo and send it to them. They will remove the background and put the signature in the document, right? This is called as a normal signature, right? For example, inked sign, right? For your identification, it's an inked signature. What will be there in the digital signature? Digital signature will be saying that who is the signing authority, who signed it, and also will have some hashes, right? So for example, a degree certificate will have a inked signature of a, let's say inked signature of the registrar or VC or someone, fine. Okay, same way, a digital certificate obviously will have digital signatures in it, but these two are different concepts. When we talk about cryptography, asymmetric cryptography, you remember public key, private key, fine. Same way, a digital signature concept, the key possession will be of one order. In digital certificate concept, the key possession will be of exactly the reverse order. I don't want you to say that in depth. If you are hearing this for the first time, you will get confused on that. But we'll see what exactly is the digital certificate at first. So let us visit some website. I am visiting a common website, the university website. Let's check on to. I'm randomly opening a website somewhere on the internet. Maybe. See, this is a website. So that is having connection is secure. It is saying that the connection between that website and I am the client connecting using my Chrome browser is secure. Why it is secure? The website has a certificate. The certificate is valid. Let us check what is there in the certificate, right? And this is typically showing the difference between HTTP and HTTPS. By this time, everyone should know the difference between HTTP, port number 80, running traditionally. HTTPS, by default, it will run on port number 443. HTTPS is so-called secure because between the sender and the receiver, the data is encrypted, right? Encrypted means, you know, right? The data is locked. Obviously, it will have a cryptographic algorithm. It works on the basis of TLS, transport layer security, right? And the actual protocol is SSL, secure socket layer, fine. So when you say a website is HTTP, normal data. When you say it HTTPS, the data is encrypted. The algorithm behind that is TLS SSL, right? So let us see this website. In this website, let me open the magnifier so that we can see it in the zoomed one. Zoom. Okay. You see this? Issued to aniv.edu, right? Some additional details. Valid period from October 5, 2024 to November 6, 2025. The signature, the certificate is having a SHA. You remember yesterday we discussed SHA is the integrity checking algorithm, crypto algorithm. Certificate ID is there. The certificate's public key. You remember we discussed about asymmetric cryptography. The public key of the certificate is there. So anyone can online go and verify whether this website is having a valid certificate or not. Fine. The details of the certificate. See, certificate, for example, a certificate has to be issued by someone, right? I have a certificate issued by my university. Same way, this university is having a digital certificate that is issued by a third party, right? In India, many companies, they have authority to issue the digital certificates, right? See, they have, okay. They have the version 3, serial number of the certificate, unique ID, certificate algorithm, they keep PKCS, SHA 384 variant with RSA. Issuer, it is issued by the User Trust Network, a company who have issued from New Jersey, right? Validity, the end validity is this date, this time, this year, right? And other than that, the public key info, the public key algorithm, the actual public key, it's using, if I'm not wrong, RSA 4096, fine. Then certificate subject key, certificate basis, signature, SHA, that's public key and everything. So that's that. So when you see a website, right? When you see a website will have something like HTTPS. It says connection is secure. The connection is secure because the website has a valid certificate, right? Valid HTTPS secure certificate issued by a certifying body, right? Let me check, like companies that can issue digital certificate in India. Let us check. Let's check onto the images. It will list a list of companies. Right? Even Indian government has something called, you know, right? DigiSign. E-Mudra, Indian government's thing. DigiSign, PDF signer, Signex, Express, Sifi, VSign, different vendors for issuing a. Yeah, just a minute. Yeah. So again, we will see this with a even simpler example, right? I am typing Aadhaar red, green, and orange signs. Cool. Just a minute. Orange tick marks. Fine. Yeah. You see here, this one. Yeah. Most of you, when you submit Aadhaar somewhere outside, right, you might have noticed this. Right, you might have noticed this. You are submitting the Aadhaar PDF, directly downloading from the Aadhaar website, or else you might have downloaded and you might have printed in a PDF and you might have submitted it. You might have noticed this. What is this? This is typically a digital signature. You see, Aadhaar's digital signature. The digital signature of the Aadhaar card might be issued by the Aadhaar signing authority. They have issued it to Ashok Kumar. I am sharing my Aadhaar PDF copy to someone. The signature is valid. It will show, hey, the signature is valid. The signature is not known. Maybe net might not be connected. It is not verified. It will show this exclamation mark, right? Sometimes it might show you something called as Aadhaar red X mark, right? Fine. Invalid PDF signatures. It says, hey, this website claims to have a signature. Sorry, this certificate claims to have a signature, but there is not valid one. Fine. So let's assume like your university is getting, your college is getting a certificate. A student have passed out in 2014. Name, department, marks, everything. But you check your database, nothing like that is there. What you will reply? Hey, this student didn't study in my college. Same way, a document with a digital signature, right? If it is valid, it will have a green tick. If it is not verifiable, signature is there, but it's not verifiable at the moment. It will have an yellow color exclamation mark. If there is not a valid signature, it will have an into mark. Fine. So example, correlating that with your Aadhaar. Okay, that is about digital certificate, right? For a website, digital signatures individually. In India, there is a website called E-Mudra, government one, right? So where you can go and get your own digital signature, not a digital certificate, right? Digital signature. Fine. If you want to get a digital signature, say I own my company, I am the director of my company. I have a digital signature for my company in my director ID. Right? Again, you remember, this is one of the form of authentication. How I can authenticate, I am the director of my company, signing a contract document, right? E-Mudra dongle. When you pay them 3,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees based upon the plan, they'll give you a pen drive like thing. Just it will look like this, pen drive like thing. If you are a part of the college admissions team, accounts team, or finance team, management team, when you submit to university website, when you submit for a contract or a tender, you might have signed this using your college e-Mudra, or your principal's e-Mudra, registrar's e-Mudra, right? This is how it will look like. Inside this, nothing much. Whatever we have seen here in this certificate, connection is secure, certificate is valid. Only this certificate information will be there in a dongle version. So that this is a signature. This signature, you can put it over a PDF document, right? You are certifying that I am the owner of the college, or I am the owner of the company, right? So e-Mudra is a common website in India where you can go and buy a digital signature for you. Sir, I want to get a digital certificate for my college website, right? We see SSL free. There are many websites, SSL for free, where you can go get, you remember this SSL, I mentioned HTTPS, this means encryption. Encryption is backended by transport layer security. TLS is actually working on the foundation of SSL. So if your website has SSL TLS, it's HTTPS, right? So you can see here, you can go and get a free certificate for this, right? Create a free certificate for your site. For example, I'm typing www.akmohan.in, my personal website. I believe I already have a certificate, but let me check. Okay, it will ask me to log in, right? Once when I log in and get this a free certificate, it will give me a SSL certificate. I can go add it in my website, right? Previously, when you type akmohan.in, right? You see at the top right corner, certificate connection is secure, certificate is valid. You saw the Anna University certificate, right? You see this certificate, a different certificate. Certificate is issued to akmohan.in, my website. I have a certificate got from Let's Encrypt Webs company, right? So that is valid from September 5, 2025 to December 4, 2025. Certificate, the public key. Then you go to the details of the certificate, version, serial number, certificate signature, who issued it, root certificate. And when you talk about digital signature, digital certificates, we have something called as PKI. Anyone teaching cryptography, you may teach something like that. PKI, digital sign steps. Let's check onto this. Yeah, this one. Let me open this. Yeah. See, there will be a CA, certifying authority, receiver, right? And there will be a sender. So a sender, right, public-private key works here. I want to send something to you. I'll take your public things, sign it, and send it to you. If you want to verify me, you can verify me in the certifying authority. Just like someone coming to your college, giving a degree certificate and verifying whether the student had clearly actually completed the degree. So there will be a certification authority. There will be a receiver and sender. There will be something like a revocation authority. Someone can revoke your certificate, just like you cancel a degree. Someone can revoke your certificate, right? So it works on this PKI principle, right? Public key infrastructure, right? I don't want to take any complex diagrams. It might confuse, right? But actually, the whole of the PKI works like this. You see, worldwide, you go to the website, registering authority. Step 1, you register the certificate. Fine. Step 2, your registration is confirmed. Step 3, it is when the registered, it goes to the certifying authority, a new entry. Just like you join a college and get your ID card, a new entry is put. Step 4, a copy of that, the ID and the password is given to the user. Step 5, the user goes to the website, gives their identity. The website want to verify. The CA will give a copy to VA. The VA will have a database of all the registered users. Anyone can go to the VA and verify, right? Verification or validation authority. So there will be RA, CA, VA, the end users, right? But the common is certifying authority and the end user. So this is all about digital signatures. You see here, and again a 2-mark definition is there. Digital signature is created by taking the hash of the message and encrypting it with the sender's private key. The recipient then uses the sender's public key to decrypt the signature. I sign it with my private key and send it to you. You can verify my signature with my public key. Yesterday we discussed public-private key pair. Fine, that's how it works. So HTTPS works based upon SSL TLS or TLS SSL. Fine. So SSL is issuing certificate to the website. Same diagram is given here. How to digitally sign. Private key on one side, public key on the other side. SSL Labs, DigiSecure. We have seen a couple of websites here. Okay. So now we'll see. I hope it's clear. Signature and certificate. A certificate will have a signature in it, just like your degree certificate. Same way, a digital certificate might have a digital signature in it, but digital certificate is a unique identity. Digital signature is a unique identity. Don't confuse them. And again, don't confuse this signature, right? Scanned copy of sign. We face this issue in many educational institutions. Someone asks you, sir, sign the document, digitally sign, put a digital signature on the document and send it to me. Even I did the same thing before 10, 15 years, right? I'll sign it, scan it, put the sign in the Word document or PDF document. That is not a digital signature. That is a scanned copy of your signature. Digital signature is actually your electronic signature. It's not only a sign, it should have a actual fine. You see here, for example, I've opened this document, your class notes using this Foxit. Let me open it. Foxit PDF reader, I use it regularly. Fine. So Foxit PDF reader, when we go home, comment, view, form, protect, you see here, file and sign, right? I can put a signature, manage signature. See, I can put a digital scanned copy of the signature, convert it into a digital signature, verify it and use it. But scanned copy of the signature, what we sign, is not a digital signature. It's a scanned copy of the signature only. Fine. So you see here, e-sign. You remember you're able to see my signature. I have a password for that. Let me check whether I really. Okay, see, I'm dragging my signature. I'm pasting in this document. Fine. This is not a scanned copy of the signature. When I give you this PDF, right, you can clearly verify the signature. Not only the signature, when you check onto the info of this PDF, it will clearly say Ashok Kumar signed this signature using Foxit, the signature ID, everything will be here. Fine. So this is a digital signature. Fine. Just like you see in your Aadhaar, a tick mark, into mark. Same way you receive this, you will be able to see the tick mark, into mark, depending upon the validity of verifiability of the signature. Sign and certify, for example, place a signature. That's what we did. E-signature is processed. Already I've submitted it, so it's not allowing me to put another. Fine. Digital IDs. You see here, I have a couple of certificates which I have. I can put any one of them. I can export this certificate. Save it to a data file. You see, I can export a cert file, file name.fdf, so that this certificate I can use it in some other system also. Certificate details, valid from and to, who issued, to whom is what issued. Fine. So this is really a digital signature. Fine. You see here, you won't be able to see the signature here. Unless and unless I save that, it won't be visible here. Yeah, it's here. Fine. So DNS, VPN, proxy. Fine. So next concept which you are going to see is something called as a DNS, domain name system. If I'm not wrong. Fine. DNS. The first day you remember we saw DNS. DNS is like your telephone directory, converting between the www.website.com to 170.168.1.1 IP. So conversion between the a lookup table between domain and the IP, just like your name and phone number, that is called DNS. Fine. We already have seen the DNS. Fine. Some websites to check this. Fine. Leave it. VPN and proxy. Let's check what is the concept of VPN and proxy. Let me say Frigate VPN. I'll give an example. When I was doing masters at the university, fine, the university had a firewall. Fine. The firewall says, hey, you are a student, you are not allowed to open facebook.com. You are not allowed to open WhatsApp. Fine. But for the faculties, the access was there. So what we did, we searched for a VPN, a virtual private network, an application, right? Frigate is one application. To download that application, install it in your system. Thereafter, traffic going from Frigate, from my laptop to the college server to outside world will allow me to open facebook.com. Fine. It's typically a proxy. You see here, that's what is given here. Proxy is something between the sender and the receiver. VPN is a traditional type of a proxy in which between the sender and the receiver, there will be something intermediate. Fine. For example, I leave it Frigate VPN. VPN working. Yeah. Let us see this. I'm opening the image in another tab. Yeah. See, without a VPN, from your device, an IP address to the internet, Airtel, BSNL, Geo, it goes to the website. So with the VPN, from your device, your college or company might have a VPN. Again, it can be a hardware or a software, right? Insert. So it will go via the VPN client and the VPN server, then to the internet. This VPN acts as a tunnel. Obviously, VPN is holding all your encryption stuff. It encrypts the whole of the data. Fine. So, for example, let me type Sonic Wall VPN. At the university, this was used, right? Sonic Wall VPN. The time was harder when all of us was forced to work from home for taking classes during Corona lockdown. The university gave us a VPN. So from house, you log into the VPN, go to the college server, take the PPT, you take the class via MS Teams. Fine. Let me close this. So DNS is domain name system, mapping between domain to IP. Reverse DNS is IP to domain. VPN is an application between the sender and the receiver. When the data goes on the internet, VPN acts like a tunnel or a pipe with which your data will be secure inside the VPN. Proxy, between the sender and the receiver, there will be a proxy. You connect to the college, you type your gmail.com, your college has a proxy. They can monitor what you are typing, right? So typically I see whenever I go for a visiting lecture in some colleges, when I ask them to connect the internet, they will put an IP in my network settings and they will connect. When I start capturing the packets, it will say go via the proxy. Again, you go, you be a part of the college, you accept to their terms and use the proxy, right? Proxy is typically a man in the middle between the sender and the receiver. Proxy can be for any purpose. Colleges use proxies, government do proxy, companies do proxy, attackers do proxy between the sender and the receiver. Whatever attack we have done, right? Cross-site scripting, cross-site request forgery, any of the injection attacks, the attacker acts as a proxy between the website and the legitimate end user. Fine. Man in the middle, right? Is set on the things. So this is done. Cyber kill chain, interesting topic. Fine. Cyber kill chain. Let's see how many are here. Just like ISO SLAS, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 steps are there, right? Let me close all the other old stuff. Seven steps, cyber kill chain. Let's take a diagram. Maybe any public diagram for a cyber kill chain. Lockheed Martin, he's the founder of this principle called cyber kill chain. So it's called Lockheed Martin's cyber kill chain. Just like we call Pythagoras theorem, right? Let me open this image. Okay, now it is clear. See, there are 7 steps. This is called as a cyber kill chain. Let us say like weak chain. Let's see an example of a weak chain. You see, this is really a big chain. As you see here on the screen, the chain is there, interlocked. One point there is a weakness. You pull it on any of the side, the weakest chain breaks first, right? So that's what an correlation given here for this cyber kill chain. Fine. So cyber kill chain, the attacker wants to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 steps to complete the attack or to complete the so-called hacking. If you are a security professionals, you need to stop the attacker in any one of these steps or any 2 steps. You cannot block them in all the 7 steps. In current day scenario, attack are complex. Attacker have to completely successfully complete the 7 steps. The defender, security person has to break the chain in some places, right? So it's a cat and mouse race, fine. So let us say, when you go out, again, when you teach or when you study or when you do a certificate on ethical hacking or hacking, right? They say 5 steps in hacking, 7 steps in hacking, steps in VAPT. They run parallel with these steps, right? The cyber kill chain. So someone wants to do an attack. Your competitive college wants to do an attack on your college. They will do something called reconnaissance, right? If you are hearing this for the first time, reconnaissance is a dictionary word, yet a military keyword, gathering details about your target or enemy, right? So someone wants to gather details about your college website. What they will do? Harvesting email, conference information, everything. So someone visits your website, as I said, they can come to your website. There are applications called crawler. They can crawl your website with a simple Python script or Perl script, and they can collect all the mail IDs available in your website. So what the attacker is doing? They have done a reconnaissance. They have found what is your website, what is the server your website is hosted, the server version of your website, what all the email IDs available. Fine. With the basic details collected, the attacker will go to step number 2. Fine. What is step number 2? Weaponization. You remember, right? If you want to blast a building, you need to select the appropriate bomb. So they will select based upon the basic details collected. They will select what weapon to select. In yesterday's terminologies, you have found the asset. In reconnaissance, you will get the vulnerabilities. From the vulnerabilities, you will select an exploit. Fine. Let us check exploit DB. You remember this website I opened maybe yesterday or day before, exploit DB, where I go and find there's a vulnerability in the website. Let us say your website, most of the website use a server called Nginx, right? You see here, Ingress Nginx remote code execution vulnerability, right? So the exploit DB is giving this is a vulnerability released in 2025, vulnerability number 1974, right? We'll see what exactly CV is, right? So when you click on to download, it will download and give the vulnerability. It may be a Perl or a Python or a text file, where the code you see here, the same code will be there. Those who teach C, Java, Python, you know, it's a code, exploit.py, a Python code. When you run this code against your target is running on Nginx server version 4.1.11, lesser than version 4.1.11. You will be able to do a remote code execution. Let us see what is this remote code execution. Let me check. A mode. A vulnerability is identified in your website. A payload is created. Virus is created. Exploit and delivery is done. The code is executed in your system. The attacker gets the control, right? RCE, remote code execution, is an attack, a cyber attack that allows a malicious actor to execute an arbitrary code on a remote machine. I am an attacker. I am not allowed to get into your college server, but I am coming in. I am executing a code. By executing the code, I am able to get the Excel sheet, which is having the salary statement for the last month for whole of your college. Fine. Something like that. You can execute a remote code and get control over the system. Either you can see, either you can edit, you can steal something from that and come out of the system or the network. Okay. Let us go back to that. Okay. Weaponization. After reconnaissance, in weaponization, you will find the exploit. Then delivery. You need to send that to the attacker, right? Sorry, victim, right? So you send it over an email, you give it in a pen drive, you send it over an attachment, right? Delivery, just like you're delivering a letter, you can deliver via email, web, USB, or anything. Step 3 is done. Step 4 is exploitation. The exploit is delivered there. The user have clicked onto that email. They have downloaded that part, exploiting a vulnerability to execute the code. The user is opening the, for example, let us assume I am opening the attachment to the attacker you have sent using this Foxit reader. I go to my help. I go to my about Foxit reader. See, version is 1.0.27. When I check for update, the current version might be 1.1 or 1.2. Fine. So if the victim is using older versions of software, hardware, or any application, the exploit will be created for that. After that, installing the malware. Exploit is active, it works. The virus is installed on your system or server. Step number 5. Step number 6, command and control. This step number 6, CNC, we can correlate this to something, a real world example. When you see this image, zombie, humans, some image may be sensitive, so it is closed. So you know this zombie concept, right? Zombie or zombie concept, right? Someone bites someone else, they become zombies, right? This is a zombie concept, right? So whenever all these steps happens, till installation is done, your system becomes a zombie. It is going to send some data to the attacker. So that is called command and control. Attacker sitting in Russia, China, some other countries might control your system, right? So the command and control server, let's say every night at 2 o'clock, your system will send a request to the zombie. The zombie will say, hey, this command and control. The command and control will say, I am having 10,000 systems compromised in India or inside your college. From that, they are going to attack your college server, college exam server. When you investigate, you find only your computer attacking your server. Because your computer is become a zombie, it have become infected and it have doing an attack. What is the purpose of doing all these things? The last step, action of objective. The purpose of an attacker to do one recon, to create a weapon, to deliver it, to exploit a vulnerability, make it install, get a command and control. The ultimate reaping is at the end. He wants to put a virus, he wants to steal your data, he wants to format your website, he wants to delete your data, anything. That is called action of objective. The objective of the XYZ hacker, right? So this, in a combination of all the 7 steps, is called cyber kill chain. Lockheed Martin's principle on cyber kill chain. So the attacker wants to successfully complete this attack. You are a security professional. What you want to do? You want to break. For example, attacker have done a reconnaissance on your college website. Okay. They have created a weapon. Fine. They have delivered it to your email. Okay. They have exploited your PDF reader. Okay. But before installation, your computer antivirus stops. Hey, stop. This PDF file you are trying to open has a virus. At step number 5, the chain is broken. But let's assume that is done. Step number 6, the virus is installed in your system. You go connect to your college server. The college is having a SOC, Security Operations Center. You remember yesterday we discussed Splunk, Wazoo, QRadar tool. The tool will monitor, hey, your college system morning at 10 o'clock is sending a request to a IP in China. Your security device might monitor. You can break it at step number 7. Not only 5, 6. Even you can break it number 2 or 3. 1 is most common, right? Anyone can do a reconnaissance, fine. But you can break it starting from step number 3, 4, 5, 6. Fine. So that is on this concept, cyber kill chain. All these 7 steps. I'm not going to read the 2 marks, fine. So whatever I explained is just given here on these 7 steps. A diagram, websites to check. CVE, CVSS. The important part, see nowadays companies, cybersecurity companies, recruiting candidates saying that they will give a website, ask you to make a security report. You need to submit the report. Based upon your report, the company will give you a job. So I'm calling students from your college. I'm giving a subdomain website in my company website, the dummy website hosted. I keep it vulnerable for purpose and ask your students to give me a security report or a pen testing report, right? So what will be there in the report? Hey, your website is completely secure. Currently, no website claims to be 100% secure. They will say, sir, your website is vulnerable. I've got some 10 vulnerabilities, 1 critical, 2 high, 3 medium, 5 information level vulnerabilities, right? So how to rank the vulnerabilities? When we started the session, we discussed about CVE, right? CVSS. Let's check what are these. CVE and CVSS. You see the score between 0 to 10, right? 0.0 to 10.0. But keep in mind, you cannot randomly give the score. Everyone knows the formula for A plus B whole square, right? Same way, there's a formula for calculating this. And there are 2 entities involved, CVE and CVSS, right? So let us check. CVE, that's a website called CVE, mitre.org. They run this website, just like OAS, it's yet another organization. CVE. What I want to do, let me allow the cookies for time being. I'm searching, see, enter the keyword SQL injection. See, let's search for SQL injection. See how many CVEs are released. Let us open one CVE. Fine, I'm opening a CVE, a vulnerability. Vulnerability number is, again, how to decode a CVE. Decode a CVE, images. Yeah, this one. CVE is common vulnerabilities listing. It was released in the year 2019. CVE number is 1214, 1215, 22,200, something like that it will be there. So now let us check. This is a CVE released on year 2025. The CVE number is 9,932. It is published, verified and published. Fine. Let us check. The CVE is the vulnerability on PHP, the website running on PHP, SQL vulnerability, PHP, this Gurukul Beauty Parlor Management System. Let us check what is this. Images. See, there's a website which is giving you a free website for beauty parlor management, a PHP code, a free PHP code. That code has this vulnerability that is identified by some security professional and they have reported it. Fine. The flaw has been found in this PHP code 1.1 version affected by the vulnerability in this page admin update image.php. If your website is running on this code, your college.com/admin/update image.php might be vulnerable to this SQL injection attack. What is the score? 6.9 out of 10. Have you got the score? This is the formula for the score. CVE is the vulnerability. CVSS is the formula system, typically a common vulnerability scoring system. CVE.org, where you can go and search for vulnerability. Let's say you want to find a vulnerability. Everyone uses MATLAB, common softwares used in colleges. See, MATLAB is having a, Jenkins is the company, MATLAB plugin. MATLAB is having a vulnerability, you see, a cross-site request forgery vulnerability. You remember, we discussed about CSRF. 2023, it was released. 49,656 was the vulnerability ID. Cross-site request forgery vulnerability. In this Jenkins MATLAB plugin 2.11.0. So when you see this, right, when you see this Jenkins MATLAB plugin or this CVE, I copy this CVE, I go to exploit.db website where the exploits viruses might be available. You can go and search for this. Fine, you need to give the CVE or MATLAB. Search filters might differ. Jenkins. Yeah, see Jenkins, Control F, SRF. Okay, see it's showing a cross-site scripting vulnerability available in Jenkins. Stored cross-site scripting available. Jenkins 2.235.5. This Jenkins 2.1.0. That's what it's recommended. You have an application, hardware, software application. You need to update it. 2.11, 2.12, 2.13, update to the latest version. Update, the company, the owner of the software or hardware gives the update because of that's a vulnerability identified. That's a threat actor is there. There might be a CVE released online. They are giving a patch for the vulnerability, right? You and me cannot go and patch all the softwares. When you get a paid software or even free softwares, they give the update for the purpose of patching the software, right? So don't never ever stop any update on your Windows, on your Android. There's an update, let the update run. That will make your system or mobile secure. Fine. Okay. So CVE We have seen CVE. We'll see what is CVSS, Common Vulnerability Scoring System. CVE is run by mitre.org. CVSS is the scoring system run by first.org. Fine. It's another security group. Fine. So you check the calculator at the left. CVSS calculator. You see this? The calculator is having something. Attack vector adjacent, attack complexity high, attack requirement present, privilege required low, user interaction active, confidentiality high, integrity high, availability low. When I complete this base matrix, you'll see the formula. Confidentiality high, integrity low, none. Fine. So when you just select specific options from here, you see at the top, the score is getting calculated 6.7. Right? When I change something here, the score changes 8.5. Fine. When I change something, the score changes. So this score, just like A plus B whole square, CV score is calculated based upon 3 group of matrices. Base matrix, supplementary matrix, and base matrix is main, environmental matrix is second, and the third matrix. So these 3 matrix. Now I hope we are coming on to scoring system 4, right? Let me go to CVSS scoring 3 version, right? 3 will have, see, base matrix, temporal matrix, environmental matrix. Now they are updated to the latest version of scoring, so the matrices have increased. Fine. By default, attack happened over network. Attack complexity is high. Privilege, it doesn't need any privilege to do an attack. User interaction, it is required when you want to click that to run. Scope is changed. Confidentiality is affected, high. Integrity not affecting, none. Availability low. When I complete this, the first part, when I complete all the options in the base metric, the formula will start calculated. Till then it will become 0. This temporal and environmental are optional, but it also has to be given. You see the change in the formula, but you cannot randomly click on here. Based upon the attack, someone has to sit and calculate this formula. Nowadays we have XYZ tools to calculate this, but even there's a human intervention required to verify the match. Fine. So that is called as CVSS. CVE is the vulnerability ID, like your name and roll number. CVSS is the formula, like marks 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. It is a score between 0 to 10. CVE, common vulnerabilities and exposures. CVSS, common vulnerability scoring system. Fine, okay. CVSS scores. NVD, National Vulnerability Database, they run this CVE, CVSS on the top of the hierarchy. Top security tools for this, fine. Okay. So CVE, CVSS. Before getting onto the tools part, right, we'll try to calculate a score for something, or else we'll see. Just a minute. I hope everyone uses GPT, Perplexity, right? Let me log into my Perplexity login. I hope I have one. Okay, I'm asking this Perplexity to do something. So you remember APT 36, Indian Post Office attack. Fine. Yesterday we discussed, right? APT 36, Indian Post Office attack. The same example, we'll try to do something. Let me open this. Let me go to the research mode. Fine. Hey, assume you are a 20 years experience cyber security expert India. That may be a typo error. It will automatically create. Calculate the CVSS score for 3.0 and CVE associated with so and so. Also show me the Mitre attack. I'm showing it here. Mitre, ATT, and CK is the framework. Mitre attack life cycle for cyber chain with real statistics. Fine. I'm running this. It will run for 2 or 3 minutes. Let it run. In the meanwhile, it is running. Let us go back to the thing. Okay. So whatever we have seen from the first on day 4 today, it's all about the real world implementation. A guy who goes as a security engineer, fresher, after studying from your college, maybe a computer science student, a cybersecurity student, an AI student, who gets into a company for a security engineer. They want to know all these things. Company wants them to know at least these basics. Whatever we have discussed today, they need to know these basics. Fine. So top security tools, fine. So I have listed the top 10 tools that is available. WASP ZAP, Nmap, let us check. OWASP, ZAP proxy, right? ZAP is a proxy between the sender and the receiver. So WASP ZAP, you can download and install, you can try all the WASP top 10 attacks. Z attack proxy, that is called ZAP, fine. That is one tool, fine. It's a scanner, it is scanned. For example, you log into your college, go to your college.com, give your faculty username and password and submit. This can scan how you are going to your college, what is the get request you are sending, what is the post, what is the reply it is coming from the website, it can scan. If someone is able to scan in this level only, they can try all the 10 attacks. They can do an injection, they can do a cross-site scripting, they can do a cross-site record forgery, they can do a directory traversal, they can do a password brute force, right? So WASP ZAP is one of the most common application from WASP itself for freely available for checking the top 10 in cyber vulnerabilities or infosec vulnerabilities. Nmap, network mapping tool, online. See, Nmap is a tool, interesting tool, common tool used in this step. Let us go up. Nmap is an actual tool that is used. Let me come down to this place. Okay, this one, yeah. Reconnaissance, recon your network, right? The first step in the chain, gathering details about your enemy or target. So Nmap is a tool that is used to gather details about your target. You see here, Nmap scan started. You are scanning a website or IP address. The website result says, hey, welcome. This IP is available. This website is open. Port number 21, TCP open. Port number 22, SSH open. Port number 110, POP3 open. Port number 53, DNS open. Right? It's typically showing all the ports open. Fine. So there are some online websites available to show this. Let me show you those. Let me close this, close this, close this. Let this run. It will run for some time because I've given a detailed prompt for it to get us a result. Okay. So that's a website called shodan.io. It's an online website like Google to find or search internet connected devices. Fine. Let me search Shodan query for finding EDU websites, education websites, EDU websites, India. Let us put A mode. Let it go. Search me the syntax. Host name EDU, country India. I am searching for the websites in India. Sometimes Shodan will ask me to log in, right? I am searching it here. Let's check whether it's asking for a login. Yeah. It wants me to log in. Okay, leave this. I leave the host name, country India. So I'm not sure which account I have logged in with my things. Finally, let me check Shodan results. Images. Let's search for some images online. So that a Shodan result will look something like this. Thanks. This one. Yeah, see the shortened result says, hey, welcome. You are searching for some search query. The website is available in 74.131.157 IP. The server is running on this THTTPD, this version. Last modified doc type. This in US child, right? They are searching for a query called WVC80N. Let's check. WVC80N. What is this? See, they are typically searching for a camera. You see here, if I'm not wrong, they are searching for a Cisco wireless camera connected on the internet from US. So that is listing a website, a company or a college who's having a public IP. In this IP, there's a website, so there's a web camera connected on the internet hosted here. So not only camera, they can see the website, they can see your printers that is connected on the internet, right? So everything. Shodan is a website for finding internet connected device. Any device like your mobile or your laptop or your college CCTV camera or your college printer, college server, anything has a public IP that is connected on the internet can be seen using Shodan. Fine, just like viewing it. Let me close this, close this, close this. Okay. I hope we have got the detailed summary report. Copy this. Let me open a Word document and let me paste this for you. Let's see what happened in the. See how many references, like a 63 references research paper, likewise it looks like. But you see here, we've asked them about that APT, fine. I want to completely copy this. Control V paste. Page with these 3 pages. Okay. Let me select this, the whole of the result. Copy this and paste it here. See, it have clearly given me, let me paste and keep the original text. Sorry. Paste. And keep source formatting so that the images and other things will be visible. Okay, let us check on to that. So I have created a APT Indian Post Office attack CVSS scoring mid-range score. So APT 36 is the transparent tribe. APT, a virus that infected post office domains. It was infected using a malicious PDF, clickfix, PowerShell command, Windows. It have 2 types of infection. Infecting Windows users, post office users who used malicious PDF via clickfix vulnerability. PowerShell command, you remember first day we saw the blue color screen, PowerShell command on Windows computer. Or else any Android user also can be infected. See, the CVSS scoring 3 base score is 7.3 high. Why? Because the CVSS score is for AV, it is this N network. For AC, it is L. For PR, it is N. You remember I selected the formulas, right? So that's how it's calculated. So it's not like randomly you can select the formula, right? You need to, only those who have a domain expert in that will be able to select these vectors, right? So that is done, right? APT, right? CVE. So any of your Windows computer having these older versions of Windows can be infected. CVE 2010, 2019, 2024, fine. Attack framework, reconnaissance. I have not discussed about attack framework here. APT and CK. Mitre has something called attack framework. It will have all possible combinations. You go to a shop and nowadays you go to a cracker shop and find different types of crackers from the first till last. Same way, see from reconnaissance till the final phase, we can find, see, reconnaissance, active scanning, 3 different types of active scanning. Gathering victim T1592, gathering using information 1589. So let's say the attacker have gathered information via organization information, your website. Fine. So that is the start of the attack. Let's go back. Just a minute. Yeah. See, in the reconnaissance, someone have just found vulnerability in your organization website 1591. Then they might have acquired from your compromised accounts. Then they might have got control over a email. Then they might have sent you an email. They might have just asked you to click onto a link, right? So reconnaissance, initial access, execution, privilege escalation, credential access, lateral movement collection, detailed step-by-step process of this. Any of these permutations combination attack can happen. So we have calculated in the reconnaissance space, the attacker have used for this attack APT 36, this post office attack that happened this year early, right? So they have used 31592 T1598. Then resource development T1583 subdivision 001. Initial access, execution. See, a rat called Crimson Rat, Eliza rat, oblink rat. This rat is not a normal household rat. This is RAT, remote access Trojan. It's a computer virus. Just like a home rat, it can infect your computer or network and hide inside the system, right? Defense evasion credentials is bypassing the security. See, even in government website, they might have basic security. They have found how to bypass that security also. So that is called defensive techniques. Collection exfiltration, what details is collected? 70% of breaches with 100 GB of data stolen from the customer, end users. Command and control server, you see, the command and control server was active somewhere for 200 days. Telegram bot that was running in Telegram using Eliza rat. Fine. So government have found they have hosted a website in this modgovindia.space, seemesitelive.store, fake websites hosted. So that's what is given, you see here. Reconnaissance, weaponization, delivery, exploitation, installation, command and control, action of objectives. It's done. See, what is the result of this APT? It is over 12 years. The APT 36 is not only affecting India. It is proclaimed to be from Pakistani hackers group. 12 years of attack. It have attacked 27 countries, right? It have 1,000 victims, active victims from India, Afghanistan, Iraq, Germany, right? Target distributed government organizations, educational institutions, technical infrastructures. It has a CNC server. You remember, command and control server hosted on the internet. Eliza rat, NetRat, Capra rat. For Android, they have AndroRat, Peppy, all the viruses. You can find the bunch of these viruses in the exploit DB. Fine. They have used a spear phishing, one type of phishing, targeted links sent for specific customers, those who are using postal website or postal application. How many devices attacked, how it happened. Find the whole step with some results. So if you see on the website, there should be some statistics also shown here. You see here. Let us check. They are showing how the attack happened, impact, exfiltration, how the attack happened. Then they are showing reconnaissance, APT kill chain detection rate. Reconnaissance 15%, weaponization 36. The detection rate, how the attack might have been detected. Fine. A comprehensive result from this. So maybe like, so when I say like, I take a student from a college for interview, give him 20 minutes, ask him to make a report like this. Any XYZ GPT platform, you name GPT, Perplexity, Grok or anything, Gemini can create a document like this. But we'll ask the candidate to explain. Hey, let me know what is an APT. Let me know what is an AndroRat. Let me know what is a cyber kill chain, right? They cannot see everything and answer it. It's good to use LLM platforms to generate reports because it's publicly accessible, open to everyone. But after getting the report, at least you need to understand and read it. At least for the interview purpose, student should be able to explain what they have done, fine, or what they have gathered on the internet. Let us down. Okay, we are discussing about Nmap, right? Second tool, Nmap. Third tool is Wireshark. We have already seen this Wireshark tool on day 1 itself. Burp Suit, an interesting tool. Burp Suit. Sportsfigure is a company. The tool which they have is called Burp Suit. Community edition, it's free, right? They have the professional edition, it's a paid version, fine. See what will be there, what can be done using this tool. It's a real world example of the man in the middle tool, proxy tool, right? See, request and response, it's not clear, leave it. The left side is the request, right side is the response. You are going to your college, giving the username, giving the password, entering. Anyone who is sitting in the network, acting as a man in the middle, can clearly identify which website you are going, what password, username giving, what password you are giving. The difference between HTTP, HTTPS, FTP and SSL. Sometimes they may get the actual plain text username and password. Sometimes they may get the session ID. Sometimes they may get the cookie of the system, so cookie of your session or something, right? It depends, right? So that is the name of the tool, Burp Suit. Fine. Then Nessus, it's a commercial tool. Nessus, Tenable Nessus. Tenable is the company. It's a vulnerability scanner. It will scan and give you the comprehensive report. It can do an automated scan. Every day it can scan whole of your college, 7 branches, 20,000 computers and give you a report like this. What is the vulnerability? 147 high, 278 medium, 59 low, 189 information, right? And each and every vulnerability you see here right side, CVSS scoring, which date, vulnerability. It will give you CVE, CVSS, mintrade.org, attack map, how to mitigate. The important part, it will give a remediation saying that how to overcome the attack, how to prevent the attack. Fine. Then SS Snot. I hope those who teach firewall security, we teach something called a Snot. Snot has an image like a pig, traditional pig with a nose, right? Just like a pig sniffs, right? The Snot is a tool which is going to sniff or monitor the network traffic. It's an IDS, if I'm not wrong, intrusion detection system. Snot is a publicly available open source free version of the IDS, right? They have the most common free version of the IDS, Snot. You can install that and check. If you have a college, you have permission, you can run Snot in your college and check whether what data is going out. Then Sarikata, yet another IDS tool. It's named behind this animal, right? Peeping, you know, right? You will have seen in Discovery Channel. It will peep and go run behind and sit, right? Depending upon this nature, Sarikata, this tool is for monitoring your network, free and open source. It's an IDS IPS combination. Then there's a tool called Volatility. A tool, sorry, if you put volatility, different results will come. You put it as Volatility Cyber. It will show you the tool with this logo. Yeah, it's a tool for identifying malware analysis, right? So you can copy the dump of your memory RAM and put it here. You can give the application saying that calculator.exe. If there's a virus inside the calculator file, this application can individually dismantle and say what is inside there. It's typically like an X-ray machine, right? So, but you need to have not only C, Java or Python, you need to have some extended level of understanding about the coding, right? You talk about some assembly level languages, you know, right? Microcontroller, microprocessor, push, pop, right? Those level codes, how to read instructions, right? The extended version of that things. So volatility is a tool, free tool used for memory forensic. We use it for memory investigation. And again, in real world, current day, we use it for malware analysis. Fine. Okay. The 9th one, Hashcat is an online tool used for, you know, right? We discussed about password cracking, right? Hashcat will have a crack engine which can calculate the passwords and the corresponding hashes MD5 SHA1, SHA2. If you're having a username and password, your college you have a username admin, you have a password admin. You can easily crack using your application called Hashcat. There's a tool called John the Ripper. Yet another password cracking tool. There's a tool called Cain and Abel. Another password cracking tool. Okay, this tool was named behind the historic characters Cain and Abel, right? Cain and Abel password. If you type, it will show you the password cracking tool. Yeah, so the tools looks like. Cain and Abel password recovery, password cracking tool. Then final thing is Kali Linux. As I was mentioning about, Kali Linux is one of the common Linux operating system. So-called hackers OS will have all the XYZ tools inside that. Then there is something called Metasploit. Metasploit. It's yet another OS, right? Metasploit, Metasploitable, which is going to have the whole of exploit DB inside. So you give the target, it will do all the attack. The whole of the exploit DB, viruses, scripts, everything will be inside. It know how to select the virus. It know how to send the virus. It know how to get the attack. The real world so-called hackers tool, Metasploit, is one of the offensive tool, bad tool for doing an attack. Fine. So if someone claims that I know cybersecurity, at least we see Wireshark, Nmap, Nessus, Metasploit, Kali Linux. Again, randomly putting the name in the resume is dangerous. The interviewer who sits will be 10-15 years experience. We will clearly ask about what version of Nessus you are using, what command in Metasploit you gave, right? You cannot randomly put the tool's name in your resume, right? That will create a problem. Fine. Yeah. So what we have seen today on day 4, OAuth top 10, we have seen XSS, SQL, CSR of broken authentication, digital signature, digital certificate, the clear difference between these two, DNS VPN proxy, 7 steps in Locket cyber kill chain, CVE, common vulnerability enumeration, CVE number, CVSS score, and we have seen the 10 cybersecurity tools. I have listed these tools based upon my team's R&D. To go search online, some other tools also might come in top 10, but these are all the common tools for academics to teach cybersecurity, right? Okay. So that's it from me. I hope I have taken a couple of minutes extra. It's already 5. Any questions, queries? I'm happy to answer in the chat box. Let me see. There are quite a good number of questions in the chat. Purpose of Mitre attack. Mitre attack is a framework. You know an attack. See, we have put the APT attack in Mitre. It will say what step it is following. Imagine it like a binary tree. Mitre attack will say what is the root cause and how the attack happened, so that it will be easy for you to sort out the attack. So kill chain is the model, Mitre is the process. Cyber kill chain is 1 to 7 step model. Mitre is typically the all permutation and combinations of the attack. I hope I've answered the question. Then okay, fine. I hope that was only the technical question. So that's it from me. Now I'll leave it up to the organizers for any concluding notes.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your valuable class. Thank you. Yeah, so dear faculty members, kindly mark your attendance. So we'll meet again by tomorrow at 3 p.m. It's the last day of cyber security session. We'll meet tomorrow at 3 p.m. Thank you all. Thank you for joining. Have a great day. Thank you, sir.